All right, guys, today is Sunday, April 7th, and we're going to take a look at the Euro USD weekly forecast that I do every Sundays. And it was actually a pretty interesting week last week, although not too surprising because if you remember the video I did last week, I was talking about a level that was critical and we needed to watch for in terms of support. Now, I was expecting, I had multiple positions on this down move over here, and this was that I wanted to stay below 1.08, right? For us to stay below 1.08 and look and also pay attention to this between these two median levels. And I had this drawn out last week right in there. Now, I know these candles look a little different. I actually use Heiken and She candles, but for the purpose of the video before, I was using just the regular candlesticks. But this is like the difference that it makes, right? You can see the Friday we had this move down and a wick all the way back up, and then on Thursday we had that huge move up, and then the wick, price came all the way back down. So I like to use Heiken and She candles. It just makes the structure of the chart just cleaner, in my opinion. I've been using them for a long time. Sometimes I'll switch between regular candles and Heiken and She candles. Heiken and She candles, if you don't know, they primarily use to identify a trend. But for me, I like the visual aspect of the candles, and also it's easier to identify chart patterns with it. So, but anyway, we so I mentioned last week I had all these short positions here, and then once the market started driving up, I said, all right, I'm going to have to close a few positions. I still have positions up here. As a matter of fact, on the top right corner, right over here, these are the current positions I have. When the market moved back up, I added, I think, two more positions and try to get a better positioning if the market's going to continue to the downside, right? So I did have to close a few positions. I just didn't like the fact that it was bouncing so strong. And even last week, I was mentioning I really don't see some divergence until price started moving back up. And down here, it was very slight, this low all the way down here matches up with this low. And usually, when you have like a hidden divergence, the MACD tends to go lower. So if I draw a straight line across, you can see there was a slightly lower, and there was a bounce. Also, with a confluence area of this support level, like I kept mentioning last week, this is going to be a critical level, and I wanted us to stay below 1.08. Obviously, it didn't happen and made that really big push to the upside, but then it faded out on on Thursday towards the end of the day, faded out, and then on Friday we did have a move lower, but it was pretty much flat, right? There was no significant gain or loss. So yeah. So now that we're looking at this, what am I? What do we want to see the euro do? The euro. What move that we want the euro to do? And I'm still leaning towards the short side because I still have my short positions, but it's still condensed. Now, like if I go down to we go to the weekly chart, okay, look at this fake breakout right here. I had this low, tapped into this next low, and then they found the price found some support here. Made a fake break. Matter of fact, let me move to the regular candle so you guys can see. Right, you found some support here, and then it tried to make a break, but still could not get below this in between these two median levels. It just couldn't do it. See right here, very critical level. The market did not want to give that up, at least not yet. And on a weekly scale, it had a gain, it had a rebound here. Now the question is, are we going to continue to the upside, or is it finally going to fade out and we got to break this low here and finally make the move that what I'm looking for is target to 1.0580. This is the area I would like to take profit if we get to the downside. One of the things that I'm looking for to see if the market continues higher is if we again test this pivot area. Again, if I go back to the daily chart, you can see this area was also very important. Okay, all the way back here. You can see the year started off right on the main pivot, a lot of support, broke down, found some resistance, and then again, this area found some support, a rally right back up to this pivot zone, and then a hard rejection back to this zone, right? But you can see that price is kind of getting condensed. If I go back to the weekly chart, and I'm going to put on the Heiken and She candles again. This is the trend line going up, and this is a trend line going down. It's still in this large triangle. Now, triangles are, it can be, can go either way, right? It's a 50-50. Triangles, it just means that, especially a symmetrical triangle, right? There's no like distinctive top and rising price, which would be, I believe, a ascending triangle, and then vice versa, right? So we still in this condensed triangle here. So we still waiting to see if the market's actually gonna attempt to make a move to the upside, break above this, or actually make that move to the downside and actually close outside of this triangle, and then that opens up, for price to make a larger move to the downside. Same thing here, although slightly different. Let me get rid of these markers right here. This looks like, well, I could draw it the same way on, right? We could draw it the same way as we see it on the weekly chart, right? And you can see this was the fake breakout down here. Try to go below it, but now it's right back in the triangle. But this is also looks like a descending triangle. If we take this here, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? It's a descending triangle. So if you're trying to visualize this, right, we have this up move, this down move, this up move, this down move. Now it's up here. So price is still getting condensed in this one. Question is, are we gonna rally up, or is it gonna fade out here and then try to find a little bit of support and then finally break down to the downside? This is what I'm watching, and it makes no sense to try to like guess, right? If you're currently looking at the market, you're not sure. It's just best to stay out. I'm looking. I have short positions up here, like I mentioned before. My short positions on the top right that I just showed you before. I'm still looking to a break to the downside because of larger pattern I see like on the monthly chart, and I still want to see, now that we had, basically we have an indecision here. If I go back to the regular candles, you can see like this big wick to the upside and this long wick to the downside, but they still ended up flat. So there's indecision right in this area right here, right? Neither. Now, if you went long here and you're thinking, okay, the market's going to reverse, it actually did reverse, but then you go short and the market went right back and it just ended up flat. So that was just, you're going to end up being frustrated trying to chase the market either up or down. So that's pretty much it. Nothing too much, but we just want to see again this level. I want to see this level at least break these two median levels and get right back below 1.08. Couldn't stay below it before, but ultimately we want to break to be more convinced of a down move. We want to see price trading below 1.0740, which is right here. Okay, so right now the two levels that are very important to watch is, oops, let me get this rectangle. Okay, this area right here and these two median levels right here. And then, of course, you want to factor in that descending triangle and see if we're finally going to make a break of this low, or we're going to break up to the upside. All right. So that's going to be the analysis. I'm not sure what we have actually. Let me look at the calendar. You can see right over. We have CPI numbers on Wednesday. We don't have anything on Monday, which is tomorrow. Tuesday, there's nothing. So really, we just have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of you know economic news releases. So that's what I want to. That's what I'm going to leave you with. I'm going to stay short for now, but if we do start trading lower here, I might explore opening up to adding more short positions. I just need to be more convinced that the market's going to actually make that move and get out of this whole triangle. And also here on the weekly, like I mentioned before, that it's still condensed in here. It's getting pretty condensed in here, right? See, so just have to wait and see it, and just take it day by day and see what this market is trying to do. All right, so that's going to be it for this week. Again, if you're looking to get short and you're just confused about what position to get yourself in with the euro, it's best to stay aside unless you have a really good position up here or some position up here, and just wait to see if this market's going to finally break to the upside or break below this area. All right, so manage your risk, and I will see you guys in the next video.